Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to my first full stream. Hopefully this one's going to be recorded this time. So I'm going to be playing Phoenix Point Year 1 Edition and hopefully putting together a bit of a tutorial as we go. So, yeah, I did do an hour and a half stream yesterday, which was my first one ever. But unfortunately, Twitch decided to not save it. So I've hopefully corrected all that and should be going into it. So I'm going to start a new game for it. So what Phoenix Point is that it's a strategy game, much in the line of XCOM, made by the original XCOM developer Julian Gollop, with his newer team. It's, long and short, a top-down strategy game. You use squads of people to defend areas, attack areas, trying to eventually, hopefully, save the world from a threat of crab people. So, I've never actually fully completed the game myself. However, I've played it across numerous patches, going right back to the little alpha demo that we got as original Kickstarters. So yeah, I'm going to be playing on Hero difficulty, using all of the DLC that have been released so far. Festering Skies is hopefully coming out a bit later on this year, at which point might have to do another playthrough. But we'll see how things goes. I'm going to use all its promotional skins because that gets us a little bit of extra stuff, which going in on Hero difficulty will hopefully give us a little bit of an edge, but is not that big a deal. So, all those are activated. We've got promotional skins going in on Hero. And I'm going to treat it a bit like an Iron Man type playthrough, which, in case you're not aware, is basically you use one save and you just follow through with that save. If you have someone die, you can't go back to a previous save. Technically, there's not an option for that as far as I'm aware, or if there is, it's located somewhere in a weird gameplay menu, but I'm just going to roll with it. The other thing is we're going to watch cutscenes and things because I actually haven't done a whole lot of that. So, yeah, let's see how the game is.
The Phoenix Project was founded on October 24th, 1945. The Second War to end all wars was over, but there were those who understood that we could no longer afford to think in terms of nations and empires. For a time, the Phoenix Project successfully navigated the political conflicts of its era. That was our golden age. Phoenix Project operatives scoured the world for clues. We had bases in 24 countries. Even the heavens were not off limits. But out there, on the far side of the moon, began our downfall. The failure of the Phoenix 2 mission exposed us to our enemies in the UN. Stripped of resources and scattered to the winds, we were reduced to a secret, a memory. When the Pandora virus woke up, we should have been the first line of defense. When huge clouds of mist appeared over the sea, when people started vanishing, we should have figured out what was going on. And when those people started coming back, changed, hostile, alien, we should have been ready to fight, but we failed. The ecosystem started to change, imperceptibly at first, then faster and faster. 3 factions arose. New Jericho, trying to restore order and purity. Sinedrin, hoping to build a world without hierarchies. And the Disciples of Anu, a new syncretic religion dedicated to adaptation and biological change. At war with the world, and at odds with each other, these factions cannot find a way forward. Now the mist is returning, and armies are rising from the sea. Without the Phoenix Project, humanity will fall. It's time to rise from the ashes.
Alright, so now we get dropped straight into the game, onto the geoscape. So this is something we'll be looking at quite a lot throughout the game. It shows our little aircraft there, which hopefully we'll be able to get a ton later of. I'm going to bump the speed up because that's just how fast we travel in our time. In game, it doesn't really change anything. And we've got our base here, so this will be something we want to play around with a little bit. So much like in XCOM, you've got your different slots to build different buildings in. We always start off with a medical bay, research lab, satellite uplink, and all these other bits. So the main ones we care about at the moment are our research lab, medical bay, and living quarters. This one allows us to house more soldiers. So for every 8 soldiers, you need another living quarter. Medical bay means that when we come back here with injured soldiers, they'll heal up. The other thing the living quarters does is it'll increase stamina again, which we'll get into a little bit later on. Satellite uplink gives us a sort of view around our base, so when places get attacked, we'll be able to see where the attack may have come from. We've also got our vehicle bay, which just lets us land there and will help repair vehicles, although that's not usually an issue in this one. The final thing is we've got these extra spaces, so we can't access this space or this space because we don't have a building adjacent, and we can't dig out these, which is a change from XCOM. So if we're going to want more spaces than what we have available here, we'll build into these and get these corner spaces, but then we won't get anything further. Because of limited resources right at the start, I'm not going to build any extra buildings just yet, although it is very tempting to grab a training facility, but it will use all of our resources, so we're going to hold off on that. This is our research screen, access along the bottom here. I'm going to start our only piece of research, which will let us see the mist, which I'll be able to show you a bit later on, and that'll be a major part. These are our soldiers, so we've got a heavy, 2 assaults, and a sniper. So heavy carries heavy weapons. We've got some alternate heavy weapons here. If you don't have access to the promotional skins, you won't get these at the start of the game, but you can unlock them a bit later on. I'm going to leave it with the Phoenix autocannon rather than these Hell cannons. So, just because these are multi-shots, and at the moment we don't have overly accurate people, so I prefer to leave it with more hits. I'm going to give him... Going to give her... Yeah, the names, I think they've only just recently started syncing up to the people, whereas originally the names were completely random regardless of gender. So, gonna give her these. I'm actually gonna give her a different helmet. It's not super important early game, but I prefer to have my heavies with an assault helmet, just because the standard heavy helmet has this accuracy penalty, where this one doesn't, and these guys with their weapons are already inaccurate enough. We'll take that back off. So this is just letting you see what classes there are. So the diamonds, they're automatically proficient with all this stuff, but if we went to say sniper, we're not proficient with their sniper rifles, although you can swap armor for free, that's not an issue. I like to have everyone with a med kit and a grenade, just because extra options are good. And these are their skills. We'll get into those once we've got a level up available. So I'm going to go through and make sure everyone's got this. I'm going to pimp out this person's dress and give them this gun, because statistically it's exactly the same. It just looks a bit nicer. So, going to follow with that. They've got plenty of extra space, so I'm also going to give them an extra... magazine, just because assault classes can tend to burn through pretty quickly. Give them that, another one of those. We don't have any fancy equipment for them, so they can just stay with bog standard. And finally our sniper, who obviously has a sniper rifle, but they also get pistols as part of their standard. Gonna make sure he's all pimped out in nice gold and white. Fancy sniper rifle with its gold plating. Give the med kit, and we'll pop a grenade in the back, although we're less likely to use that on him at this point. So yeah, we'll back out from there. So we've set up our research, set up our personnel. We could set up some manufacturing, but at the moment I don't really want to get any extra stuff. It's all quite expensive, and we currently only have our 4 people to kit out. So we'll move along. We'll go to this nearest spot. So we've just travelled there really quickly, and now we need to explore the site. So we have found a Disciples of Anu Haven, which means we've already encountered our first group of people, and we're gonna go into our first mission. So we've got squad slots, 4 out of 8, so we've got 4 people. We can have up to 8 on a mission at a time. Obviously, less people, no worries there. We can also go in, we can edit our units, much like we did earlier. Actually, yeah, let's make sure that they're wearing the prettiest stuff. But otherwise, we'll leave it with that, and we'll deploy our squad. Let's see where this goes. Alright, this takes a little while to load, so I will be right back. Very unprofessional of me to leave it all unmuted, but that's okay. No one else is currently around at home. Alright, let's get back on main. And here we go. So we've managed to load into the mission in the meantime. I'm sure you heard the plane noise earlier. We're not going to hear a whole lot of that because we can skip that, thankfully. Now, this is our general mission screen. So each person comes with 4 action points. There are ways to alter that, mostly knocking them down a little bit, but in general we'll be running with 4 action points. Now, depending on the person and what equipment they've got certain maneuvers they can make or weapons they can use that take a certain amount of action points. Heavies are often a bit restricted with what they can do, just because they've got jetpacks, which take most of their action points. Their gun takes most of their action points. You can see the little indicator taking 3, but we can use some of these other bits for just 2. But yeah, so now I have played through this particular mission before. This is always the same mission laid out almost exactly the same every time. So I'm going to just carefully run forward. There we go. We've already seen our first enemy. So this is our very first Pandoran enemy of the game. And you'll notice they're not overly crab-like at the moment. Oh, we've seen a whole bunch of them. There is a lot. Okay, we're going to stop them there. So, because I'm still within this blue area, that's like the amount I can move in a single action point. And then it'll give you a line denoting where that will end. Because it's all yellow, I know that if I move, I'm not going to be able to shoot. So I'm going to stay where I am, fairly far forward, because accuracy is actually derived from a combination of things. So when you click to fire at someone, it'll give you a couple of options. You've got shoot, which will use the default aim, or you've got free aim. I prefer the free aim almost every single time, just because you can line it up yourself like this. If I wanted, I could even go and aim at one of these other things, or we could tab through to have it automatically center. Now, I'm going to aim for the closest one, because they're at most risk of getting to me. Now, everything will land within the larger circle that we've got there, and half of the shots will land within the center circle. This is mostly important with the less shots you've got, the more likely things are to end up all over the place. With this gun, we know we're going to get 6 shots, so we know at least 3 of them are going to sit somewhere in that middle circle, and we want to cover as much of the body as possible with these circles. And a handy little tip, because of statistics, if you get a little amount either side of that inner line, that's the most likely to hit spot of anywhere in this reticle. The chance of hitting the exact bullseye or skimming the outside edge is pretty rare, so you really want as much of that inner circle or a little bit either side. And don't worry if you get something like this where you're not highlighting it, because you're still covering some of it with the circle, you're still very likely to hit some of the enemy, but I'm still going to center it up just because I like to do it that way. I'm going to move along a little bit, and we're going to shoot. Nice. So we did enough damage, which looks like we hit with 2 of the bullets, and that is enough to kill off our quarry. Now, next one up, heavy. The heavy's not going to be super useful in this mission. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pop our heavy with a jetpack all the way over here onto this roof. Combination scout and getting them into a slightly nicer position to be able to potentially shoot at people. There we go. So we've seen a couple of extra enemies. This one here, which was previously hidden, and this one way over here has been spotted to us. So I've just spun the map around a bit to give us a slightly nicer isometric view. However, we don't have enough action points to do anything with this one. Oh, we have got a free sort of spot. I'm actually going to move to here, because that... No. So, what this is we know that there's something there. We don't know if it's human. We don't know if they're Pandoran, anything about this. But I know from having played this mission, that's just another worm. I'm pretty sure it can't just jump up here and attack us, but it will likely move its way along here somewhere and towards these guys. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to move my sniper to here. Oh, so his perception's so good, even though he can't see it, he knows that's there, so he's let us know, which is good. We could take shots with our pistol, but as you can see, it's wildly inaccurate. We could take a shot with the sniper rifle. It's still not great. But at this point we're pretty safe, so I'm just going to take the shot. No luck, but that's okay. So I'm going to move this person up to here. We can take aim. We could do that, or we can set up Overwatch. So this is one of the best things to do. If you know you don't have a great shot, set yourself up in Overwatch, because even though it might not necessarily much of a better shot, who knows what'll come up. You could get really lucky. So you can set it up to cover wherever you want. If you hold control and scroll, you can make it wider or thinner. However, there's only so far it can extend out. So with this person, it's quite a long way. So I could extend up most of the way to the edge of the map here, although it is blocked by line of sight as well. So I'm just going to set it up over here, because I know this guy is over here. I particularly want to cover here, just because I don't think any of those other worms will be able to get to us and do what they do. So because we're out of action points, we hit yes, continue on. We've got worms coming in. Boom, there we go. So we got unlucky, we only hit with a single bullet, but thankfully it doesn't have the action points to get to us and do anything more. Oh, there's another one. Okay, this is a few more worms than I really expected. I don't know if this is because it's heroic difficulty or whether I'm just used to finding a couple of them at a time and going from there. But that's okay. We're going to make this work. So, okay. So I'm going to start with a grenade because I am nervous. However, this grenade, as long as we're not horrifically unlucky and somehow get a miss, which is very rare, although I have seen weird things happen in this game before. So, ooh, there's some cover mechanic stuff going on here. So because this worm way over here is behind this one, if I threw the grenade directly here, the other worm won't get affected. So if we move it back just a little bit, there we go, we're getting a skull appear on each of them, so it's predicting that if they take the full damage from the grenade, as they should all die. So there we go. Boom, 4 dead. So that's used up our grenade entirely. That's okay. That'll teach us a bit about the resupply mechanics. We've still got 2 action points left, so I'm going to take aim and shoot at this worm. We hit them with at least 2 of the shots. Perfect. Alright, in this, we're just going to move a bit closer, because you can always, if you can guarantee the kill, it's always worth moving closer. And in this particular case, with no shooting enemies, we know we're not putting ourselves in any particular risk. Now, let's see. Oh, 1, 2. Okay, that would take 3, so I'm a bit nervous about doing that. What we might just do is we're going to move back over here, just because hopefully that'll render us safe, and I'm going to set up an Overwatch like this, because they should come along this way. And we're going to use this person. Okay, we can't get all the way over there, but I'm going to fly forward. Now the one thing is with this jetpack is we are using up will points. So you'll see there -2 will points. If a person is to reach 0 will points through another means, they will panic, which means you won't be able to use them for 1 round. They'll run somewhere and they'll automatically start recovering. However, at this point we're pretty good. These enemies can't cause will point loss, and we as long as we've got a couple around, we're not too worried. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to put them on standby just by hitting space to automatically do that, and let the enemies do their thing. Nice. So there we go. So the Phoenix Point pistol, while not a fantastic gun, is perfect for taking out worms. It takes 1 action point to use, and if you can keep your accuracy with it, it automatically kills them, and these worms don't do anything when they're shot dead. So we can do that, and then because we've got 1 action point left, I'm going to do that just in case someone starts running across there. Now let's see, let's run to here. We're going to do our free aim again. Technically we could line this up, and if we were super lucky we'd be able to hit them both and kill them off, but we're just going to go for the closest one and leave it at that. Yeah, and we're going to do something similar here where we run this person up, except because we can't hit them directly, we set up an overwatch and hope. Now we could potentially get some XP with this person. I think what we're going to do is we're going to move them closer. We're going to take some pot shots. It's highly unlikely we're going to hit. We only have 3 shots. Oh, we get lucky though, and we manage to shoot one of the worms directly, or one of them into the worm directly, and keep going from there. Alrighty. And because I quite like my heavy, and I know they're not very good until they've got a bit more XP, I'm going to run up, and we're going to use bash. So anyone who's holding any sort of item can bash an enemy. This is a combination of their strength, which is one of their skills I'll show off after this mission, and the weight of the item. So I know this is a really heavy item. We're going to bash this person, or this worm. It did damage, killed it, and because we've killed the final enemy, we now complete the mission. Here we go. Oh, look at that. We got some pretty good stuff there. So, level up wise, one of our assaults managed to hit over the cap and is halfway almost to the next level up already. And then our others have managed to get pretty close to leveling up. Our sniper is the furthest off, but that's okay. Snipers will get plenty of chances to kill things off, and our heavy is most of the way, and I find they're some of the hardest to level up at first. Yeah. So with each mission completed, they get skill points, which you'll have seen the SP +8 for each of them. As well as when you level up, you get 20 skill points for the soldier who leveled up. And based on our score going out of the mission, we get some extra skill points, which are part of the Phoenix skill points, which we can give to any soldier while we're leveling them up and giving them more skills. I usually don't spend very many of those at first. I usually save them for a bit later on, when we've got people who we're managing to level up without necessarily putting them into missions, which is done through the training facility that I was thinking about earlier. So, this is the Disciples of Anu. You saw they were the religious fanatic type thing from earlier on. So these guys, allying with them will get us things like mutations and eventually giant mutant creatures that we can use instead of vehicles, although they don't provide a lot of the transport benefits that some of them do. Alrighty, so we can basically say a little piece of them. I'm going to say we'd like to know more. It just gives us a free bit of attitude towards us. And this will slowly let us build up diplomacy, and they've given us a bit of food. So now we can see them on the map. That's the Disciples of Anu Haven. So if we have a look, we've got different bits and pieces here. We can choose to raid them for either food from their food production spot or from their factory, which would probably give us some materials, but not out here trying to do that at this point. And then from that, because we've just discovered them, we can now do a bit of research on them. This will give us a neat cinematic and a bit of extra food. Food's really nice because we can't produce any of our own until sort of early mid-game. So being able to have a bunch extra stored up is great because it keeps us fueled up on our soldiers. And the other thing we get is poison worm autopsy. Just because we've killed a bunch of them, we can now research them, and that'll hopefully give us something. Namely, we're probably going to get poison grenades out of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not super exciting, but it's worth doing. So we're going to start with the Disciples of Anu here, get us a bit of extra food, and we're going to pop that in there because that also gives us the bonus effect of 100 materials, which we use for most of our crafting. And then we're going to go to our personnel. Now, no one was hurt. Everyone's lost a little bit of stamina just from doing things, but they're not at a point where they have any sort of penalty, so we'll be able to move straight on to the next spot. Now, Arya here managed to level up, so we've unlocked the next tier of skills. So every soldier, based on their class, will have their first row populated with the class stuff. So she's just unlocked the ability to get dash. So we can spend 10 skill points from her soldier skill points to give her the dash ability, which we're going to do. It's well worth doing. So this will let her move twice as far for one action point as normal with the use of just a little bit of will points. Now, if we didn't have enough soldier SP, we could have spent some Phoenix Point SP to top that up, but that's not usually an issue until a little bit later on in the soldier's life cycle. The other thing we've got is every soldier will have 3 bonus abilities. These ones are randomly picked and randomly spread out across this line. So in her case, in her second level random slot, we've managed to get Cautious. So abilities pretty well spoken for, gives a bit of accuracy, reduces damage dealt. This is not a bad ability overall, especially if we're to give this person sort of sniper rifles and things like that. It makes them much more accurate over a longer range. Do a little bit less damage, but sometimes consistency is more what you're after anyway. She's also got Quarterback once she gets to level 3, which is a really nice one. Bit of extra grenade range is always useful, gives some more tactical options, and the extra speed is really good, adding to their overall movement they're able to pull off. And then Self-Defense Specialist is a bit later on, which is quite nice because it gives extra damage and accuracy with personal defense weapons, which we haven't unlocked yet, and handguns, as well as it gives the proficiency for both those things, which usually you need to go into other classes to get. So I imagine we're going to start making Arya into a bit of a gunslinger, and at 4th level we'll be able to give her the sniper class to give her sniper rifle proficiency as well. But for now, I'm going to leave that one undone, even though we could spend some Phoenix Point skills to add it. Not worth it just yet. We need higher damage until we've got more people and more consistent stuff. So we'll pop back out to the geoscape, have a look around, and we'll move to the next closest one and explore this. So it's another Disciples of Anu Haven. You don't get a mission every time. We can have a look at them. Can't really do too much else. So we'll pop back out, keep going, explore another one. Okay, so we've just got the global mist monitoring system, so you'll see a little patch of red out here. We'll just quickly throw some new ones on. Haven recruitment protocols is high priority for me. I'm going to pop that right to the top. As you can see, this one had already studied a little bit. It maintains its progress. That doesn't degrade or anything. And then Phoenix Archives will put it at the bottom. And yeah, I use this little arrow here to pop Haven recruitment protocols right to the top of our list. Alright, back on out. So it's pause progress here, and it's automatically paused there because of the research thing. And we'll just hit start again. Here we go. The inhabitants of Uruk welcome our operatives with smiles and questions about the outside world. It appears their long-range communications equipment has been malfunctioning for some time, and they know very little about what's been going on recently. So we can make a choice here. We can inform them about what's going on. That'll probably give them a bit of relation bonus with us and not a whole lot else. We can help them fix their communication system, which will use some of our tech, which is this blue resource up here. This one's a bit hard to come by, but often we get a greater reward if we're willing to spend some stuff. Convince them things are even worse than they think. I'm not exactly sure what this one would do, but it seems like a bit of a dick move. and could possibly make things worse in the short term with them. But I'm going to help them because, yeah, and they've given us a pile of food, as well as the Haven leader's attitude has gone right up. So having the Haven leader's attitude go up is a good thing in general. It means it doesn't do much initially, but it means if we're to come back and raid this place later to try and get some bits and pieces from them, we're less likely to stop getting any sort of access and not be able to recruit from them and trade a bit later on. Plus we get a nice +5 for the overall faction, which in our diplomacy here you can see we're already up to 13% friendly. When we hit the 25% mark is when that starts having a proper effect. The other thing this haven has is, you can see here, they've got one of their airships. So if we wanted, we could try and steal that aircraft. I'm not going to do that yet. Possibly later game. Alright. Bit more exploration. Leave the barn undisturbed or search it. Lots of flies. Alright. So we can either leave it alone, which may give us some faction bonuses or something like that, or we can search the barn. The other thing is it can end up with our people getting hurt or losing a bunch of stamina, but honestly I think we're going to take the risk here. Search the barn, we get some tech and materials, and we lose a bit of stamina. So yeah, as I thought, that gives us a nice little boost up here, especially because we just spent some tech. So our personnel all sitting at about 33, 32, 36. Okay, I think we're good to keep going for now. We'll go one more, see what's happening here. Another Disciples of Anu Haven with an aircraft. Military strength 19, actually. Yeah, and they've got 18. So if we wanted to steal, I'd go there anyway. Here we go. We can now recruit soldiers from havens, so this is fantastic, and we can get the Haven Trade Protocol going. I'm less worried about this, so we'll pop this up, but then we'll put Disciples of Anu. I don't care as much about these two at the moment. Phoenix Archives just unlock some more missions, which will progress the story, but at this point we mostly want to progress our soldiers. And Poison Worm, it's just a bit of materials for the meantime, so not too worried about it. Alrighty. So, sabotage the organism, which is some sort of weird field of human hearts interconnected by things. This is gross, but the scientist in me says, I want to set up some stuff here. This will probably get us a bit of bonus research, which just speeds up our research progresses. Otherwise we could sabotage the organism, which will probably kill it and maybe give us some other bits. The other thing is, leaving it alone is an option, but it means we can't come back and do anything with it later. I think I'm going to set up a monitoring system. Trying to sabotage it could affect our relation with something like the Disciples of Anu. You get some really strange things like that. So we're just going to monitor. Yeah, gives us a bit of research for a bit of stuff. So that has already bumped our Disciples of Anu tech up. There we go. So yeah, it bumped it from 7 hours, and it took way less than that to finish this off. And we get a bit of extra thing, and we'll get a cinematic.
The Disciples of Anu were a mystery. Where others saw devastation, they saw hope. Where others saw the end of the world, they saw a new beginning. Their leader called herself the Exalted, and she claimed to believe in humanity. She preached that the human soul was perfect, that the root of our problems was our insufficient evolution. The Pandora virus was a threat, but it was also an opportunity to change ourselves, to become better humans, to mutate. We knew that humanity needed to adapt. There was no other way to survive. The disciples offered a solution, but what was their end game? There was something beyond their hierarchies and their rituals. The Exalted had a secret.
Alright, so I've never gone all the way with the Disciples of Anu before, but I imagine their secret's something like they've got intelligent crab people in charge of them that haven't lost all of their humanity. But more importantly, we've also managed to unlock Have Trade and Protocols. This will be because of that massive research dump we got, so we can now trade with havens. So Now you can see they've got their little bits and pieces. Those are what's available at those havens. So if we needed more food, we could trade potentially either one of these other resources for it. Usually you don't need to trade for food though, especially with the amount we've got. We're more likely to want to trade for technology or materials. We can also see here, little person icon with the assault symbol. So if we have a look here, we can potentially, for this cost here, hire a person who comes with the Disciples of Anu assault armor and the ability to use assault rifles and shotguns. We do have a spare assault rifle around, and I would like more people. The tech cost is not that high. The materials cost is a little pricey, but not undoable, and the food cost is basically nothing. We can't recruit them remotely, but we could travel there, and I think assault class is well worth getting. So we're going to recruit them. Look at our personnel. So we've now got this person here. So we can have a look at all the armor and everything. In fact, I think, what is it? If we hold, there's definitely something we can use. Whoops. Yeah. There we go. If you just hover over, we can have a look. So the Disciples of Anu armor makes him slightly faster, leaves him with slightly less defense, but is otherwise basically equivalent. We got this. So Disciples of Anu body armor is actually just better in every single way. It weighs less, it makes them faster. Yeah. I happen to know though, while we can take this armor off them and research it, we need at least 2 sets. So for now, we're just going to leave them with that. Give them a gun, which is automatically populated with a bit of that. We'll add one of those, one of those, one of those. And we will leave them as is for now. Cool. Yeah. Because we could give them a different helmet, but it would have to be from some of our other collections. Whereas this one is pretty good. So there we go. So we've got an extra person. They come to us with absolutely no experience. Usually their stats are similar, if not slightly lower, but otherwise they've got exactly the same sort of training stuff. This person has sniperist, self-defense specialist, so this person is geared up for becoming a sniper. They can get the proficiency for sniper rifles, they get the extra bonus accuracy, they've got themselves the extra bits for handguns and personal defense weapons. As to whether we give them the sniper class or not, we might have to figure that out later. I probably will, just because, of course, the sniper rifle class's abilities mesh far too well with utilizing sniper rifles effectively. But we could potentially do it another way. But yeah, for now, we'll leave them as is. And we've got an extra person for our team. So this has bumped up our food cost slightly and filled our quota for people we can hold a bit more, but otherwise hasn't done much. Alright, relatively easy to kill, vulnerable to explosives, immune to poison. We're not surprising. Limited high jump capability, so we could have had that worm jump up onto the roof next to our heavy. Good to know for next time. We got lucky. Sacrifices itself via function to explode. Yeah, explodes into a poison cloud. Improved med kit. We'll pop that on, but I think we'll get the Phoenix Archives underway first. There we go, unlocked another spot. Steel aircraft, we can trade either thing for food. So this is what we're giving versus what they're taking. Yeah. Now, I think we should start exploring near this red mist, because this will unlock any havens that we find down here. Because them being close to the mist leaves them more at risk. Oops, I don't know what I've done. Alright, we seem to have encountered a bug. So I'm going to overwrite this. This is the save I started previously. There we go. Yeah, as you can see, I have played other games on Veteran, which is a lower difficulty down, but we're going to roll with this hero. Return to game. There we go. Working again. Dynamite the site. Okay. Dry, flaky skin over the surface of water. Gross. All in favor of life and science and all that. personal inclination is to nuke it from orbit. If only we had nukes and spaceships. Oh, again using tech, but this one just uses materials. And this is for Synedrian. I think we're going to blow it up. Synedrian gives us a slight thing. So we haven't actually met Synedrian yet, but we know who they are. So yeah. Anu soldiers here, admiring them. We can recruit them. Okay. If governments of the old world have supported you, well, whatever. Tell them as Haven needs them. Reject him as a filthy mutant. I think... Sounds like we could get someone with mutations for free. Some of these mutations are very strong, and they're not expensive, but difficult. I'm going to recruit him. I want to see what this guy's got. Yes! Oh, and he's level 3. Comes with 2 modifications already. And he's got a bit of armor as well. But we're going to swap out his armor, because this armor is... Well, its armor value is absolute garbage. His mutations, they slow him down a little bit, -1 speed, but they give him some stuff. We can't just unequip that, but that's not too bad. Stealth down, his accuracy is quite a bit up though, which is quite nice. And this one, accuracy a bit down, but that is counteracted. This is just garbage armor. I'm going to swap it with an assault vest. Look at that. Yeah, and Greta Mendoza, not Thunberg, is doing okay. They've already got their SP from level ups because they're level 3. Yeah, they get 20 per level up. Alright, we could give them self-defense specialist, but we don't need that. They actually get proficiency with handguns for free, so we can leave that. We get armor break, which is amazing. Gives them shred damage, which lets them lower enemy armor. And close quarters evade, so less damage if an enemy is close by. So that's good. We could get that, but we're not going to just yet. However, to keep people useful, I'm going to go to my sniper. I'm going to take their pistol off them. And we'll move that up because it takes action points to go into their inventory. And we're going to go down to Greta here. We're going to give them a pistol. It's not much. We'll give them some extra ammo. Give them one of these. And actually manufacturing, we'll get ourselves a med kit for them as well. They're not going to be super useful to us just yet. Not until we get melee weapons. But once we've got melee weapons, this person will start excelling. Or personal defense weapons will even be good. Right late game they get some assault rifles, and here they gain extra shotgun proficiency and melee weapon damage. So yeah, this person is going to be tough as nails is the plan, and hit like a truck with some melee. So unfortunate that they've got the stomper legs, slows them down a bit, but we can get them some speed in other ways. Look at our research. Yeah, so to research this absolute garbage armor they've got, we would need 2 of them. It's not worth doing. I'll keep the armor around, because if we get someone with no chest armor on, then we'll be able to give them something at least. But yeah, here we go. Phoenix Archives. Here comes another piece of story.
Randall Symes was the last leader of the Phoenix Project. His great-grandfather had been there when it was founded, and he was there to witness its end. When we took back Phoenix Point, we found his notes. In his final days, as the world collapsed around him, he'd been working frantically to understand the Pandora virus. Somewhere in the complicated history of the project, in decades of missions and investigations, there had to be an answer. His notes were damaged, too many of the files corrupted. But perhaps, if we could retrace his steps, we could figure out where his journey had taken him, and what the answers he had discovered would mean for us.
Alright, so that's gearing up our next piece of story. We should send our operatives to investigate. That's generic as. Alright, and we're going to pop human population census. That just gives us our doomsday timer. As time goes on, places will disappear. Oh, we need to go right into the middle of the mist for that. Alright, but that's our mission, to go there and do a thing. I think we're going to continue exploring around just for now. Ooh, Haven under attack. Okay. Oh, this is very strange. So I think what's happened is this place was under attack, and we've come along, we've explored, we've discovered the Haven, but it turns out they're still under attack, and they want us to come in and help. It's a threat level medium, which is a bit nasty, but we do have 6 soldiers at the moment, even if one of them's a bit of a nothing. We get a solid reward looking at this bottom corner here. Good amount of materials and a bit of tech, as well as food, which, to be honest, I don't worry about food until late game, at which point we're starting to use it as a big trade good. And we get a good set. Oh, this is a new Jericho Haven as well. We haven't even met them, so it's possible we'll even get some sort of story mission. So yeah, I think let's go in for this and see what happens. So everyone's a little bit tired, but still over 30. We'll probably have to stop, give them a rest a bit later on. We've got all of our people, they're all as kitted out as we can get them for now anyway. So let's pop in and see what happens. So with the mist, any havens that sit near it are far more likely to become under attack, which basically means you get a pile of Pandorans coming in, trying to destroy the place. In this case, the military strength of the Haven was higher, so if we had left, they would have been able to take care of themselves, but this is a really good opportunity to boost our diplomacy with the new Jericho faction, and also to just show off the Haven attack feature, which is sort of 90% of the gameplay is just defending havens. So yeah, the best thing is it's showing off a Synedrian soldier with their assault rifle, even though we haven't seen them yet and we're not going into a Synedrian mission. But to be fair, the picture it was showing was of a mid-game enemy that pops up that is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Alrighty. So yeah, so in this mission we've got to defend the key structures, which is just this giant thing here, some sort of reactor I would assume. We've got patches of mist, so finishing your turn in that mist will lower your soldiers' will points a bit, so they're not great, plus they obviously obscure line of sight, as mist should. Let's see, what are we going to do here? This person's great, so because they've only got a pistol, 1, 2, 3 action points worth of movement, and because they're not wearing a whole lot of armor, even with their negative speed modifier from their legs, they can move fast. And they must have a very high strength score because their health is up, and yeah, and that does make sense considering they're a melee troop. Alright, let's run all the way over to here, using them as a bit of a scout, and we'll set up some sort of wide line overwatch. I'm going to get jetpack. We're going to pop all the way up here and see what's going on. Is there anyone on the roof? Oh yeah, I set up faster animations. Ooh, we've seen there's a new Jericho soldier here. So because we're here helping them, we don't need to worry about them. They're going to move around on their own, shoot at enemies. Enemies will shoot at them. If we get into this small circle, so anywhere adjacent, including diagonally with one of our troops, we take control of them, which is quite useful all the time. We're going to move you over here a little bit. Yeah, so we don't see anyone new up here. Stand by. Now we could, in theory, run up this ladder, but ladders take quite a lot of action points to climb, so I'm not too worried about trying to do that at the moment. Oh, and we found a heavy over here as well. Ooh. I think this person we want to get some experience for though, so I'm going to move this person up. I'm going to move Shannon up and we'll aim in that general direction. Snipers are good, but alrighty. Arya's already level 2 anyway. I'm going to run her back this way for a start. Get this person under control and we can jetpack them in this direction as well. And it looks like, yes, so you can see a faint white glow here. If we land inside that glow and have someone walk inside this glow, which looks like it goes most of the way along here, we get will points back. So we can utilize some will points here to just fly them up using their jetpack, and that gives all of our soldiers will points back. So, case in point. No one else used will points or has lost any, so nothing changes there. David here is still level 1, so we're just going to move 1 square. We're going to leave him in the open, but hopefully that shouldn't be an issue at this point. And aim out here. This person, we're going to move them along a little bit, leave them up there. We'll probably jetpack them again next turn. Now running through the mist isn't an issue, so moving to here and then moving over is fine. But we're just going to do this. And we're going to aim like that. And then with her, we're just going to run her forward a bit. I don't think there's any enemies out the back. It's very rare that they set you up in an intentional flank like that. Alright, so we know there's an enemy nearby for him. There we go. So we know there's someone there. And we know by the little face that popped up that it's some sort of Arthron. And so we know we're going to be introduced to some of the proper enemies in this game. Alright, so he's just getting smacked. Oh, and we've also got Triton. So these guys, first thing in the game, basically useless. They've got a vampiric melee attack, which they can pull off maybe once. With those secondary set of arms with little pincers on them. You can see it here. But otherwise, they've got no problem. But they very quickly become a problem because they start using human weapons. Yeah. And at that point, they become significantly more dangerous. Let's see. I'm going to jetpack this guy all the way over because I'm pretty certain we can take care of that. And this will give us a line of sight down here, hopefully. Oh, didn't let us see that for some reason. But we can see the Triton sitting over here, which is fine. With our guy. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I could move down to here and then just bash this one. Double perception. Oh yeah, Tritons, depending on their torso, they also get extra abilities. So in this case, they've got regeneration. But yeah, could run down and bash it. I think we're going to do that. Ooh, we've spotted an Arthron though, so I'm glad we didn't run down there. So I'm going to move to here, and we're actually going to leave them where they are for now, because we'll start taking shots next turn. This guy's got 1 AP left, and he is heavy stuff, so not worth moving him yet. We're going to move you to here, because he's still quite far away. We're going to take aim. So this is the next stage in our free aim. When you've got something more complex than a worm, you can cripple individual parts. Yeah, and some of them will remove ability. So in this case, torso. If we cripple that, it stops their regeneration, which is fantastic. We hit them in the head, removes double perception. Not an issue at this point, but later on in the game we'll need to keep that in mind, because that double perception ability will keep popping up. And if we can take care of both of these pincer arms, because there's another one on the other side, we can eliminate their ability to do damage entirely. But I'm going to aim center mass here. Pop that there, so the vast majority of our shots should land, if not all of them. Cool, we've done a solid dash of damage and shredded a little bit of armor. Other than that, our person can't do much, so we'll move her back a touch. And that'll be that. Get our sniper man. Have a look. He's going to have a hard time hitting this one, actually. Yeah. I mean, we could take the shot, but I don't know that we're confident hitting it anyway. So, yeah, we'll move to here. And we're going to take an aim at the other one that we can find. Again, not a fantastic shot, but not the worst shot I've ever taken either. We can see there's sort of outline of a head there, arm, and Yeah, so I think we're just going to take this shot and hope. I don't think much happened there, but that's okay. I'm going to move this person over. Hopefully we can get the kill with her. Yeah, we've got a reasonable chance at getting that kill. Even aiming at the torso with its highest armor class will be fine. So I'm going to center mass, shot it, killed it. So those XP points will go primarily to Shannon. Let's see. I mean, we've got tons of will points on this person. We don't necessarily need their abilities very much either. So I might just run over to here. Looks like she's going to be outside the mist anyway. Take aim and hopefully shoot the arm off this person. No, we hit them right in the pincer, which unfortunately is quite armoured, I believe, and didn't quite do the damage needed to take them out. But that's okay. Well, otherwise, stand by that person. We're going to move over to here. Somehow she can get a shot at this. It's not a great one though, so we're just going to set up an Overwatch and see what happens. If he's smart, he'll just... Oh, he's a useless shot though, so that's okay. If they end up dying, it's no penalty to us. It's not really an issue at all. Yeah, and that's why Arthrons can be quite nasty. However, in this particular case, if we run up to him, we can shoot his arm off, in which case he can't attack us at all, and that's not part of our issues anymore. I set up my Overwatch rather poorly there, so it triggered far earlier than I really would have liked, but that's okay. We're still going to get a double shot at that Triton, and that person should hopefully be able to get the kill. Alright, so we're going to pop this person down here. As much as I would love to give the experience to Greta, if we can take this one out, which we can, this is why I love New Jericho heavy stuff. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, our person. Yeah, so we're going to fly over here. The Triton's unlikely to pop up right next to us, and we're going to bash this guy. And we've dazed him. So certain things can cause a daze where if you hit them and the damage is, I think it's something like if it's higher than the amount of hit points they've got left after the hit, they get dazed, which means that they've got 1 AP next turn, and their accuracy is toasted. So on the off chance they've got like a pistol or something, they've got basically no accuracy with it. He's going to be able to hit us once next turn, but honestly, that's fine. We've got most heavily armoured person possible over there. They'll be alright. Run her over here. Take aim. So we could potentially kill it. I think what we'll do though is we'll pop over to her. Run this here. We can do some big damage. Cool. Alrighty. Let's see if I can take out, even if I just take out this arm. Ooh, he was still moving far more than he really should have. I thought that was supposed to not happen, but that's okay. Okay, so we've managed to shoot him. We've damaged one of his arms. Now, we can also pick up some gear. I'm going to run you over here and press I, which will let us have a look. We can get a new Jericho Gauss rifle. That's very nice. So, we'll pop that up in here, have a look. We can potentially hit the Strangler. Let's Let's have a look. Can this person kill it off? Quite possibly. Yeah. Now shoot it right in the butt. Just because it was actually the leg and had much lower armor. So now we'll be able to just finish it off with pretty much any shots, as long as they all hit. And now we get to take aim. Ooh, it's a bit of an awkward shot you're willing to take there, buddy, but okay. I like your chutzpah. Yeah, often you can wait for them to move around a little bit. It's super unlikely, yeah. Chances of that hitting were almost nothing, but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now we can move this person around to try and get the kill over there, but I don't think I can. So we're going to move over here and going to give them this. See what happens, and actually we might be able to just move far enough away from this person because we can still dash. So this is an example of dash, bit of will point loss, and you run extra far. Oh, it's running away because it's panicked. I like that. That's perfect. Yeah, so that's just gotten a bunch of hit points back, which is really unfortunate, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Strangler comes out. Again, because they've got no guns, they're not particularly dangerous. Yeah, so we can... Oh, apparently he can take a shot. Oh, and we killed it off. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't really do much for us at the moment, but... Alright. I'm just trying to get some XP for our person here. Alright, get them standing up. Pop it down here. Yeah. Nice. So again, nice dump of XP points. I'm going to move Val over here. Because we know that other one's dead anyway. We can just... Ooh. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what would be ideal... I'm going to dash Aria, which means that now with just one more action point we can move her to here, so she can do some damage to this creature, which is nice, and that puts her easily in kill range for our heavy here, who's accidentally hit our friend here, but that's okay. Bit of damage, never killed anybody. A lot of damage did, but yeah. And now you can see we've got a few level ups. So Shannon, who we were trying to get up, perfect. Lyra, and our heavy, Val, perfect. Alrighty. Let's see what's going on. Alright. So the main thing this will let us do is we'll get dash on a couple more of our people. And we get to play some extra bits on someone else, namely our heavy. Val will get to level up, and she doesn't get dash. She's got a different interesting ability. Also, we've got a new Jericho sniper rifle with a bit of ammo for it, which is really nice to get, because that saves us from having to research and get another weapon later. So we could research Cyclops, in which case it'll consume the sniper rifle we just got, but will let us manufacture it. I'm going to hold on to it for now. Let's see. I'm going to go for the Triton Autopsy, because I know that gets us shotguns down the line. New Jericho gives us some, for very low time, gives us some materials, and will give us the cinematic. Yeah. Alright, and now what we'll do is we're going to head back to base, because we've got people that are a bit hurt, we've had people lose a bunch of stamina, and we get our first intelligence report. Over time, our Pandorans will sort of level themselves up a bit, and become a bit nastier, gain some new variants. So now we've got the Arthron Brute. So much like the Arthron we saw just in there, they've got a claw. However, these guys are much nastier in that they've got a spitting head that lets them poison enemies, and they get a shield, which is just a very tanky piece of equipment that even if we cause damage to it, we don't cause damage to the Pandoran. And then the Shield Bearer is very similar, except their torso is much more heavily armoured and they don't have the spitter aspect. So overall, not the worst one to see. I'm not seeing Tritons with guns yet. And we're not seeing Arthrons with guns. Spoiler alert, that's a thing. Alright, so just by being in base, we've healed up a bit. Alright, so New Jericho, we haven't even met the man yet, but Tobias West has come out and said, Disciples of Anu suck. This has lowered the attitude between the two factions, but has nothing to do with us, and therefore we can kind of ignore it. Over time, all the factions' diplomacy breaks down with each other, and they all end up hating each other.
If you are receiving this message, then respond on the secure channel I have provided. It is essential that the information I am about to give you is kept confidential.
This is just because we met Tobias West.
Now, but I am known among the pure as Subject 24, the 24th volunteer in a program set up by Tobias West that gave us hope. We have a solution. A solution.
I'll leave you to watch this. I'll just mute myself.
And in the final moment, he backed down. Nothing prepared me for his treachery, his selfish cowardice. His attempts to erase us have failed. It was known as Project Purity. One man's dream of replacing every inch of human flesh with neurally controlled prosthetics. When I volunteered for the project, I had nothing left. My entire family had succumbed to the Pandora virus. I've watched my wife through bulletproof glass as she slowly turned into an abomination. Abominations! They're everywhere, waiting, watching. I had nothing left to lose. Along with many other brave men and women, I put myself forwards. A lot was sacrificed. He pushed us to the limit. Dozens of us died or were left crippled, and we came close to success. The Juggernaut Warrior was the final design. More than a soldier, more than a human, with titanium skin impervious to infection, perfectly pure. Pure as a smile in winter, as a human should be. There were problems. Total encapsulation created some. Mental instability, hallucinations, dreams. Not everyone could take it, but there was no shortage of volunteers to take the program forwards. And then Tobias West, the coward, the traitor, the small-minded charlatan, pulled the plug. Terrified of what he couldn't understand, the great leader ordered everyone involved with the project killed. Killed! Maybe he thought if he buried us, he'd bury the truth of his shame along with us. His shame! But we fought back. I and several others managed to escape. For years we remained silent, hiding, running, waiting for the right moment. The right moment. And that moment has come. Facing a losing battle against the Pandora virus, the weak-minded West has reactivated the old Project Purity facilities, and that makes him vulnerable. Phoenix, I am offering you an exchange. I know the location of the facility and how to get in. You have the firepower. The power! Hailstorms of fire and acid. Raid the lab and share the tech with us. All this time in hiding has left us damaged and in need of urgent repairs. If you succeed, we will both gain. Humanity will gain. We are the pure. The pure! We are the future. Help us, Phoenix. Help our species.
So the Pure are a bunch of freaky radicalists that used to be New Jericho, but New Jericho gave up on them, and now there's a bunch of cyborgs running around the countryside that, exist and want to do terrible things. So I'm going to agree to help him, because I know that we get some interesting stuff later on, as much as he's obviously a mad robot man. We could refuse to help him, but then we miss out on the rewards that we could get from this totally. So yeah. So we'll leave it as a yes for now. Yeah.
This new Jericho neural thing. Sounds pretty cool technology. But have thought about how easily by delusions of grandeur.
Alright, so as much as Citizen Stas here is roasting New Jericho, we could choose to side with New Jericho, in which case we'll gain a bit of relation with them, but likely lose some with both Sanhedrin and possibly Disciples of Anu. We could go this deeper problem with human biology, which will probably give us some bonus with Disciples of Anu, but negative with the other two. Or it's a worrying possibility, which boosts us with Sanhedrin and puts us down slightly with at least New Jericho. I do quite like Sanhedrin. I like their stuff. And it seems like we have New Jericho close, so we're going to have plenty of opportunities to defend havens and gain diplomacy there. So I think it's a worrying possibility.
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss the days when such questions just vibes and then have to.
Yeah. So that gives us a bonus with Sanhedrin's attitude. New Jericho's attitude towards both Sanhedrin and us has dropped down a little bit, and Sanhedrin doesn't like New Jericho either. But that's fine. We'll make it work. So diplomacy-wise, we still can't see Sanhedrin. We haven't found any of their havens. But New Jericho, we're still positive with them. And we're still sitting nicely positive with Disciples of Anu. Alright. Now, in our personnel, we've got Val. So she leveled up and got Brawler. So those bash attacks we've been doing, 50% more powerful. Beautiful. We could also go for one of these, but I think we're going to save her SP for now. We'll probably go for that eventually. Mounted weapons are generally just for heavies, as you can see. Already got proficiency with them. But the extra range and damage makes them pretty good. And some of those mounted weapons become incredibly powerful. The quarterback is nice, a bit of extra speed is good, but for now we're just going to hold off on it. Yeah. So yeah, that's fine. We'll go on. Arya is still just level 2. We could grab Cautious now, but I think again we're just going to wait. Baby Doll has also leveled up. Grab Dash. Beautiful. And yeah, nothing else there at the moment. We could level up some other stuff, but no, we're fine. Somehow David still hasn't leveled up. I would imagine that's just because, you know, it's a bit hard to get him any kills at the moment just because he can't move very far and needs to be supremely accurate, but that'll change soon. Shannon is also good and leveled up. And she's got her nice little bits and bobs, but we don't have any extra handguns. Actually, we should probably manufacture at least one extra and we'll get that going. Yeah. Shannon's got a slight bit of health left, so we'll just go. So everyone's fully rested and healed. Another thing we need to think about is the fact that, yeah, so we've got this. This is the special mission that came for agreeing to help that Subject 24. But we've got 9 days, which in Phoenix Point is actually quite a long time. I think we should go back to New Jericho. Ooh. Weirdly enough, we haven't had their intro mission, so and we could help them repair that if we really wanted to, but there's not really any point in it. They've nearly finished it themselves anyway, and I don't think it gives us any particular bonus. Let's go to here, explore this site. Medkit technology, beautiful. So, healing more hit points, obviously very nice. Medkits, I've heard of it as a way to just get your soldiers right back up to full health super fast, and after a mission all crippled limbs automatically heal themselves anyway. So if you've got the extra resources, using medkits to heal everyone near the end of a mission means that you don't need to go back to base anywhere near as often. But more importantly, in a pinch situation, your soldiers are okay back up on their feet, and being able to remove paralysis, while we haven't encountered it yet and hopefully won't for a little while, will become very useful later on. We spent a bunch of time exploring and found nothing. Very nice. Alright. Here we go. So we've come across a proper place with a New Jericho Haven that isn't already under attack from Pandorans, so we get their special starting mission. Usually get this on the first place you go to, but obviously the game at least knows what to do with itself. So we'll go in here, stop a group of rampaging soldiers. Usually this mission's a bit rougher, just because you only have 4 people, they're usually super low level. Being at least level 2 gives us a bit of an edge, and having 6 people is going to be really useful. So we're going to deploy our squad and get going. I'm not sure how much these missions scale, if at all, so I'm sure if you found some sort of way to get your squad all the way up to level 7, I doubt they'd necessarily do anything more for the mission, but who knows? We should be able to find out, because we've got people level 2 and 3, sort of getting a bit closer to what these New Jericho soldiers are getting, and having 6 people in the New Jericho faction often only has 4 in this mission, although they're not true New Jericho, they are rampaging soldiers. Alright, let's see. Let's have a look and see. So, I know that they happen to be inside. They usually hang around in this area here, but I have found it so that almost all of them are up on this level as well. And occasionally they have people up on the roof. Now the only fast way up onto this roof is to run around here and climb up, or to just jetpack up. I like to jetpack right up to the top though. Yeah, I'll jetpack right up here. And what does that reveal to us? Nothing. So we know no one's on this roof, which is nice to see. No one's up here, unless they're super stealthy, which is not a New Jericho thing. Move to there. Yeah, still can't see anyone. That's nice. And we're going to squat them down there. So we can dash, which is nice. It gives us a couple extra options as to where we can get to. We could dash twice to get all the way over here. We'll use most of our will points though, so I think for a start we're just going to run. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them out the back of the building at the start. I've only ever seen them inside, so let's see where we go from there. We want this person to move as little as possible, so I'm going to run them straight over to this window and just have them hunker down there for a moment. This person can run inside. Yeah, Greta can run all the way inside, get herself into cover next to the beds, and just aim out here, because she's only got the pistol in anyway. This person can run to here. This person can also run to here. This person we're going to bring inside. Now, as far as cover goes, I'm sure you'll have noticed it's more around shooting around cover, but if you can get someone next to those full cover ones, from that side they've got total, well, they're totally obscured, and if you can get them also next to a half one, they'll crouch down a little bit. So we'll see here, little half cover, so when we run over, our soldier will automatically crouch down, making themselves a smaller target. This is sometimes a bit dangerous, because in this particular case, if someone comes through this door and shoots out, they can only hit us in the head. But at the same time, there's only the head to hit, so they're less likely to hit less shots overall. So if you don't mind the head being a bit crippled, which is usually not too big of an issue, then it's well worth doing still. So we know there's someone has popped up over there, and someone's out here. They're climbing the ladder, so this is good. They're going to have to confront our bloody heavy. But because they've climbed that ladder, they've used all of their action points already, so we're going to be able to 5-foot step and shoot. Yeah, because she was crouching down and back out that way. They did basically nothing to her. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do, 5-foot step. We could bash them for monstrous damage. That is so good. Can we kill them in a single shot though? No, but what we can do is we can unload all of the shots into, say, their arm, which would stop them from being able to shoot, because they're wielding a two-handed weapon. Let's do that. Yeah. And because he's taken a pile of damage, he is now dazed. And that is a wonderful thing. So he's now got 1 action point. He can't use his weapon because it requires 2 hands to use, and he's only got 1 arm. That completely nullifies that threat, and he's also bleeding because we've crippled that limb, which means that he'll take 10 points of damage each turn from bleeding. He's only got 17 health, so unless he heals up and stops that bleeding, he's just going to keep bleeding out. But because of their low tech level, they also can't repair that arm in any way, so he is worthless. At best for him, he'll escape out the edge of the map. At worst, he'll bleed out, die, give our heavy some experience points. Yeah, and because she's a bit safer around the corner here from this person, not a good line of sight, I'm going to leave her... Actually, we're going to move her a little bit further along, because then she's behind some real solid cover. Now we're going to move Arya up here. Opens up this doorway. We can take a shot, we can blow their head out, do that. We can also shoot the weapon itself, but on the off chance that we get them to drop it, I'd rather not have it. I'd rather not destroy the gun entirely. So I'm going to shoot them in the head a bit. He gets to return fire, because despite the fact that they're not proper leveled up people, they get a really nice little extra ability. What we could do this, and we're going to use 2 action points and 2 will points, and we're going to just daze that person. Ooh, it also dazed our person. You can tell I don't use that ability very much, but that's okay. We're going to confirm that. And yeah, we're going to run Shannon over here. Because he's dazed, in theory, he shouldn't be able to shoot back, and we should be able to cripple his head. And now he's bleeding. And now with David here, we're just going to set up an overwatch through that window and down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, so we've still got 1 unaccounted for. At this point, I'm going to move to here. I would imagine he's somewhere in this building here. Almost certainly a he. I don't think I've seen very many female New Jericho soldiers, although it is a bit hard. All the armor makes them very generic looking, which is not bad. It makes it very accurate indeed. Here we go, extra madman. Couple shots there, bit rough. This person is, ooh, damn, got shot right in the gun, which means he's taken no damage from that. However, hopefully, we'll be able to just take him out with a sniper, give David some experience, and finally level that man up. There we go. Extra person. This is dangerous for this person, but now we know where they all are. So, yeah. So, we can... What are we going to do? We could drop them in. Okay. We're going to start here. They get to shoot back, and from that, Shannon is now severely injured, so we're going to, let's see, she's got 26 HP, so she's not going to die. We're going to duck her way out here, and next turn she can heal herself. This guy, I wish we could do a little bit more, but currently there's not a lot going, so we're going to... Yeah, I think we're going to pop him all the way over here. Pop her, sorry. Bella's a female. And she must have triggered one of those points. Gives us some will points. Very nice. And she can stop there for now. David, take aim. And actually take this guy out. Perfect. You can't do much else, so we'll just put you on standby. You are dazed, so you are going to... You're just going to back off a little bit further, crouch down. I'm going to keep you there. We've got that stomp ability again. I'm going to run you out here. We can't quite stomp both of them from there. So we're going to run right out here. Stomp them both. And that's going to leave them with a whole lot of no lot to do. And I'm going to sprint you on through. And let's see what we can do. Yeah. So we can't quite do much there, but hopefully we'll be able to take that arm out next turn. He's bled out and died. He moves over there. He moves over there. They've both lost will points from dead ally. Perfect. We're going to move Val out here. Now, this is a problem with heavy weapons. Because they sit low, they actually have a lower perspective, which sometimes makes shooting over things a bit more difficult. There we go. We've managed to hit and daze that guy, which is beautiful. We're going to move David all the way out here, because he'll probably be able to get a kill next turn. We're going to get Shannon here to heal herself. That'll stop the bleeding. It doesn't uncripple her head, but she's no longer bleeding. She's got a bunch more hit points. We're good. Good to go from there. Going to get Greta here to shoot this guy in the arm. Now he can't shoot back. And now we're going to shoot this guy in the arm. Start him on the process of not being able to shoot back. Although we missed the arm. Oh well, time to shoot him dead. Doesn't matter. He's now worthless to everyone involved. Okay. Aria there. Yeah, let's move Aria out here. If she kills him, she kills him. If not, whatever. I want to make at least chance of killing. Yeah. Cool. That leaves him very vulnerable. I'm going to move you to here. And you get to pick up, nice, a bulldog. You, yeah. Next turn we're going to pop upstairs, see what happens. You are going to stop there because I want to give the kill to my sniper. He's going to run for his life. Damn, okay. It's fine. We can pop up here. Is there anything here? Nothing to collect. That's okay. Yeah, we want as much loot as possible because if we can get a bunch of guns, we don't need to worry about needing to kit out all our people. They could bleed to death. I wouldn't mind Greta getting a pile more XP though. And we know they're not. We know they're going to die. So, yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to power level Greta because currently, with the lack of proficiencies that they've got, not a great place for them to be. But yeah, it does take quite a bit longer to level them up though. However, we did get 3 other people leveled up, only 1 person was injured, and that was very minor. You'll remember the 4 damage or something they took earlier. I think these guys were also injured, but I don't know if that carries over through level ups. Regardless, it prefers to tell us about level ups than injury. Alright. Oh, those enemies are so bad. Sirens.
I had always a project. One day, even after Symes seems to be the defining pattern of all rise again. Points to underlying weakness. Suppose I won't have to tell. I'm choices. After all, you are not necessarily defined by. You can be whatever your will allows you. That is the essence of the human. I did not. Could have. I need understand. Ecosystem. We are being robbed of either the utopian Idri, Anu. If you can, perhaps we.
Yeah, so New Jericho, very much all purity, mechanical solutions, etc. Tobias West he's like Elon Musk crossed with Crazy Dictator. Yeah, but they give us materials, our attitude's going up with them, and we've now met them properly. So this is a great screen, we'll be seeing it often. Whenever we use things in mission, if we don't already have things in stock to replace those, it'll allow us to sort of replenish them instantly, or at least set them up for replenishment. So we can hit replenish all if there's multiple things, or we can just hit the little cross here, and that just automatically does it, gives it back to the person. So Shannon, who used one last round, was all good. So yeah, let's see. And yeah, because we've picked up a Bulldog, which is a very different kind of rifle. So it only shoots 4 times instead of the 6 times, but it also does 40 damage per shot and shreds 2 armor per shot. So it's better against armor, and I think its damage potential is slightly lower because it'll only do a maximum of 160 if you hit all of it, but when impacting against armor, there's more damage there per shot. So yeah, basically all weapons are side grades based on what situation you're coming on. One will be better than the other. New Jericho weapons usually hit harder, shred armor better, but have slightly less range, less accuracy, and less shots. But yeah, overall, not bad. Their exception is their heavy weapon, which is the only alternative heavy weapon from a faction, where it's a machine gun, where it hits less hard than all the Phoenix Point heavy weapons, but has more shots. So yeah, they're fun to play with. But yeah, we're going to leave them for now because I want to have access to the Bulldog just in case. Yeah, pop back out into the Geoscape. We're going to head back to base again. We'll be doing a lot of this throughout the playthrough. So yeah, is our personnel. We've got Arya's level 3, so she now gets return fire. We saw that from the New Jericho soldiers. It's amazing. Anything within half perception range. So perception at the moment is plus 35, so anything within 17 squares that attacks Arya will, well, I think it specifically shoots at Arya. Even if they don't hit her, she will shoot back, as long as it was directed to supposedly try and hit her. We're also starting to get a bit more XP, which is good. Next level up, we'll get access to this new class, so we can train in a secondary class. Otherwise, we can also get some of these bits. But again, for now, we'll hold fire on that. Yeah, and we'll keep trucking along. We've also got David. Now that he's leveled up, he gets extreme focus. So he's immediately becoming way more useful, because instead of taking the full 3 that shooting and overwatching his weapon usually takes, it only takes 2 to overwatch. So if we can't just move him a little bit and shoot, we can move him a little bit further and set up an overwatch to hopefully take enemies out. So he has immediately become far more useful to us. Alright, and then finally Shannon also managed to level up, so she gets return fire as well. And we can consider her a bit more closely with that, but not quite. Yeah. Yeah, again, we'll hold fire on getting these, saving up for that new class bonus. And we're just going to sit in base for a little bit. We get the census monitoring, so we can see up in the corner here, we've got 98%, so we're only missing a small amount of our bar. If we get right down to this bit, then we lose the game. So I think it's something around the 15% mark. The higher the difficulty, the higher this threshold gets. On easy, it's down to like, as long as you've got at least 5% of the population, you're good. But yeah, and I think on Legendary it's something like 20% of the population is still too much, too little. But for us, 15% on Heroic, we'll see where we go from there. Continue healing up our people a little bit. Oh yeah, and you see this green, this is where our satellite has scanned to. So this will actually reveal extra places to us, as well as it monitors this. So if any of these havens within the green get attacked from something within the mist, it'll tell us where the Pandoran nest has popped up, which is a thing that'll show up later on. Now we're all healed up again. We could go to the Symes Retreat mission, but I think we're just gonna keep moving around. Oh no, Disciples of Anu have come under attack. So here we go. So attacking strength is +6, so threat level medium. We get a big bonus. +8 is huge. Plus nice reward here. Yeah, we almost always want to be doing these defense missions. Very rarely will I leave it. And we're just going to jump in with what we've got because we want to we want to level up our troops and we want to get those rewards. Alright. So yeah, the other thing, as this little tip here is showing, is cover affects how your soldier will interact with Overwatch and things like that. So if you're standing next to high cover, they need to step out of high cover. Will usually leave themselves very open to things like return fire, but then they'll step back in after the shot. Whereas low cover, they'll pop up, so there's a little bit more of them exposed, but not entirely exposed like high cover can often leave them. So there's a lot of play around that. I prefer low cover because more complete coverage overall, but you take what you can get in a lot of places. Now we're lucky that we start this mission being able to see one of the Tritons, so we could start maneuvering people already. Yeah, like our sniper can already see it, so he can take aim and he can already take a half decent shot at this guy. But what we're going to actually do is we'll move him up a little bit. He's still behind high cover here and low cover here, so he crouches down, gets ready, and we're going to, boom, take a shot, torso hit. So now that Triton's bleeding, and he's not going to regenerate because we've managed to take out his torso. Beautiful. So that Triton, even if we do nothing else with it, it'll slowly die off over the course of the rest of the mission. We're trying to protect key structure, so once again we've got one of these beefy looking, I'm assuming, fusion reactor or something like that. I mean, look at that. You can't tell me that's not some sort of reactor effect. So yeah, we're going to run... Yeah, Shannon can run up here a little bit. Ah, there we go. So we've seen a couple of more enemies spread out over the place. So we've got one of those shield bearer brutes. Yeah, shield bearer. So high hit points, high movement and will points. It's got that, but it doesn't have the spitting mouth, which is okay. And it does have a shield, so we'll still move Shannon up to here, I think, at this point. And we're just going to set up a bit of an Overwatch like that. But we also saw there was something over here, and it's another shield bearer. So, again, not much of a threat to us right this minute, but if it gets too close in our face, it will be quite nasty. We can take pot shots at things if we want. Bit hard to hit, basically impossible to hit. Not really worth shooting at this point. But we will set up an Overwatch out in this direction, and because we've got... Yeah, we're not likely to see anything jump out the glass, so we'll just set it up something like that for now. Should be enough. Yeah, as much as we can't stand there, it doesn't give us cover, but we're also against melee enemies at the moment, so we don't need to worry as much about cover. Because until we've seen that they've evolved some sort of gun, Pandorans will never just come with other bits, and things like the spitting don't actually require accuracy as such. No, we're moving right into that corner. There we go. Yeah, and this will keep track of everything. Even if the soldier themselves can't specifically see it, we can always see where everything that our soldiers are currently aware of is. If something disappears out of our line of sight, it will disappear off that bottom there, but it gives us a good track of who we know is around. Yeah, And because this is an Anu Haven defense, we've got Disciples of Anu soldiers around somewhere. There we go. There we go. I almost kind of hope that he dies. We don't want to attack them directly, but if these guys die, they might drop their hammer, and if we can get that hammer, we can start equipping some of our people with some powerful melee weapons. Those hammers do like 200 damage per hit, and they only take 2 HP to use. Also, that shotgun is pretty good, especially considering we don't have a shotgun. There we go. 85 damage, even against a fairly well-armoured thing. And it deploys shield that way, which is a deadly mistake for it. It will get shot in the back, no problem with that shotgun, as long as the AI isn't completely stupid. Alright. He's come and sent himself up back. Strangler rolls in there. This shield bearer, yeah, he moved wrong, but also our person's stupid and shot straight into that bronze tree. And again, it's turning towards us. I'm guessing there must be some sort of quirk with the AI where it always turns more towards Phoenix Point forces, even though it should be towards whatever the nearest threat is. Ooh, Arthur Brute. This'll hurt. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that shotgunner is probably going to go down, but that's okay. We don't mind too much. We're going to move you along here, and I don't want to shoot at that. I want to shoot down here. I don't want to hit him though. Let's take some pot shots. Make sure our circle is completely off the Disciples of Anu. Oh, hello, extra viewer. Feel free to pop something in chat. But yeah, let's see what else is going on. So I could run further over this way, start shooting at this, especially because that, yeah, Disciples of Anu ally there is not actually poking his head out, but that shield, yeah, no, what we'll do is we're going to run over and we're going to set up an Overwatch, because hopefully when that moves on its turn, it'll leave itself very open. We're going to run this person around here with his pistol, or her pistol, and take aim. Yep, that'll do. Yeah, pot shots are pot shots. Managed to hit the shield, but we can never be too reliable. Never count on reliability with that. We don't want to get too close to this guy. Even though he's more likely to turn around and hit the Berserker, we don't want to make it think about, what if we hit this other target instead? Right. Don't know why it zoomed in on that, but okay. So we got this man up here. Yeah, Val's not able to do much from there. We could run her in and have her pick up this guy. Yeah, I'm going to run her in here. So we're going to capture one of these troops. We're going to run him up. And to be honest, I almost want to just cause them to suicide into those enemies. Because we could also get this pistol too, which is quite a nice little addition to our forces, but yeah. It's not as good as the Phoenix pistol often, but you know how it is. Sometimes you've got to take what you can get as well. It does, however, have the bonus of being able to shred. And being able to shred enemy armor can be a very, very nice bonus. Alright, let's aim up. It's going to kill it regardless, so take that. Alright, we're going to move Val up to support. Let's see what everyone does. So the assault runs in. Oh, he does a big stomp. Should have stomped out there, but you know, AI is never a tactical genius. Only managed to daze one. It could have dazed like 4 of them. Now, yeah, that's the massive damage. That's that massive damage. Unfortunately, we lose out on some XP because of that, but we'll take what we can get. Alright, bit of damage, then it backs off for no good reason. It's gonna spit by the looks of it. No, he's gonna run up, smack it a couple times. Yeah, so that one's gone down. Yeah. Ooh. Ouch. That's okay. This person is super heavily armoured, and they'll be able to pull some funny tricks. So, I don't care too much about this person. I'm going to set them up in an awful position for themselves, and we're just going to shoot this guy's arm off. Except that it shot it in the leg instead, because of course it did. Let's see. Which one weighs more? We can't see the inventory. I forget which one weighs more. I'm assuming it's the fist. So we could bash it. We could also run Val up and bash instead. Or do this and just take some pot shots. There we go. We hit the enemy once, and that got us the kill with Val instead. We're going to leave this person standing out there like a numpty, and we're going to go in here. Alright, free aim with the pistol. This is the weirdest looking arm in the world. There we go. We've shot its arm off. We can also shoot it in the head, or we could just shoot it in the leg, kill it dead. Move out this way and set up an Overwatch. There we go. Beautiful. And we're going to move you up, set you up with an Overwatch as well, because we don't really want Greta taking damage and dying. We know there's not an enemy out here anymore. Yeah, so we'll just sort of... What's the fastest way to run inside? Run this way? Cool. We'll run to the ladder, and that'll be the end of that. And we're going to run you... We'll run you to capture this guy, because we'll just run him out in some random direction. So we'll run him this way. And we'll run out this way, just to see what happens. You might find an extra enemy or who knows what out there. If nothing else, they're perfect scouts, because their loss means nothing to you. It might get you some loot, and at best they can run around, find another enemy, bonk it on the head, and that's the end of your problems there. There we go, we've managed to hit it in the head, disabled it, make it bleeding a bit, get some health back from hitting Greta, but you know, can't have everything perfect. Disabled head, bleeding. Kind of tempted to just... Yeah. What we're going to do. Find the enemy. Aim at it. Where is it gone? Stop its regen. Start it bleeding. Make it threatened. Stop you there. Who else have we got? We got this guy, who we're just going to run out here, see what happens. Make sure there's nothing hiding out back of the building. Very unlikely. Spawns don't seem to work like that too often. Let's see, do I want to... No, I want to keep leveling Greta, because as I've said previously, we needed to get more weapon proficiencies. At the moment, having only melee, when I've got no melee weapons, and handguns, when I've only got... when handguns kind of suck. Not great. But if we can level her up, give her another class, then she gets so much better options. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna... Yeah, we'll hang out here. Keep Greta protected, but we're not going to cast too wide of a search. We're going to come in here. Basically just put ourselves so that the Triton is disincentivized from trying to deal with too many people at once. Run you up in here. There we go. Yeah, stop you. You're not an issue. Yeah. And kind of hoping that Triton kills off that. No, he didn't. Okay, he just ducked all the way around in the longest possible thing. Okay, cool. And he's dropped something. Okay. so we're going to use the dash because I want to conserve as many action points as possible. Ooh, doesn't have enough will points. That's a wee bit annoying. But what we can do is we can run to there. Hopefully, because we're not next to it technically. That's okay. We're going to back Baby Doll off. Can't believe they ended up with that name by default. Let's have a look. Dash up here. And once again, we don't have enough will points. That's okay. We're going to move you to there. No, move you to there. Because I want this other person to come through as well. Yeah, we'll run this berserk around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Stop them there. On this person, and just maximize the amount of people we have nearby to grab loot. Stop you, yeah. Put you up front because you're tanky as. Run you in here because it don't matter. And you can actually set up an overwatch because if you hit it, it's not going to kill it. Yeah, because we don't want to kill it just yet, just in case we get some loot. And if we get some loot, bonus. Alrighty. Oh, nice. Bit of damage makes it just that much closer to getting killed off. It's going to attack our person. That's fine. At this point, that's fine. We can just keep going. Alright, we got Lara. Shannon can go pick it up. Let's bob her down there, because she's already level 3 anyway. We only got the hand cannon, but that's okay. It's something I'd like to research. Its armor shredding is very nice to have in a weapon form. We'll stop you there, because we want to just get the kill with someone else. Let's see. We got Lara. Actually, you would be Optimum. Takes 1 action point to reload at the moment, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, let's have a look. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Everything has 10. So no matter what, we're just going to be dealing a bit at a time. Alrighty. Alrighty, that's fine. In that case, what we'll do is we'll take, let's see, level 3, level 2, level 2. Weapons don't need to be repaired as long as they're not broken, so we're just going to bash it. Save us some ammunition and have it all done and over with, as well as give that XP to our heavy. Very nice. Cool, and we leveled them up. Well worth doing then. Feels good. Ooh. Yeah, defending havens is important for gaining favor and earning resources. Yeah. Alrighty. Cool. So yeah, all we really got out of that is we got some ammo and a hand cannon for to use said ammo with. Revealed the location of the colony, so we've now got a Pandora nest. Nice. Ooh, a mysterious being known as the Apostle to the Once-Born, a servant of the Exalted, has passed by our base, leaving the following message. What is the nature of a human being? Can we change? Is it the fault in our souls, where it may never be reached, or is it in the broken bodies of ours? Perhaps the Phoenix Project can be a vessel of change. It is not up to this humble apostle to make such a decision, but I wish you well. May your actions please the Keeper of the Threshold. He will seek you out when you have shown your worth. Okay. So what this means is we're getting up there with Disciples of Anu. We're pretty close to their threshold point. But more importantly, Val here has leveled up, or she now has access to Warcry. So this is a very nice ability to have for heavies. For 1 action point and 3 will points, they yell, and it reduces the action points of enemies down. It reduces to 2. So if we knock it down in any other way, it doesn't have much effect, but that's really nice for if you've got enemies that are like heavies, or just even Arthrons. If they can only attack twice, it's so much less deadly than being able to attack 4 times. So yeah, we'll keep that up. Yeah, accuracy overall is -12. That'll just be because, yeah, -8 here, -4 there. Yeah, don't want to stack another -4 to make it -16, but yeah. Alright, so Val's looking a little bit scarier now, and because of how much SP she's got, I'm thinking neither of these is super worth it at the moment, but I want to give her a bit more willpower. So we're going to spend a little bit, buff her willpower up. Means she'll be able to use Warcry more often, and her jetpack is going to be less taxing on her. Heck, we might just pop through everyone. So they've got 47. Yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to theirs, because we'll pick all these skills up a bit later on, so I don't want to increase their willpower or anything yet. Lyra has quite a few skill points, and yeah, although I probably will give her something like Thief a bit later. We may even end up saving her new class thing until we found Synedrian. Maybe not her specifically, but yeah. Yeah, we'll give her some more will points, because being able to use dash a bit more often is very nice. So there we go. Now she can use dash 3 times. David here, he's going to need more will points anyway, and doesn't gain Sniperist until very late in his tree. And that's going to reduce his willpower again. So we want to buff his willpower up a bit anyway. And he's still only level 2. He's got plenty of time to gather the skill points needed to gain an extra class. Shannon here, 39. We're not going to give them any more yet, because yeah, we'll wait until they've got their new class. Although, like, chances are we'll be able to buff maybe their willpower a little bit. I find willpower to be one of the most important things. Strength is fairly important. Speed is my lowest importance. Greta started with really good stats, which is nice, because most people come with fairly low stats, and they come with even lower again if you recruit them from certain places, or get them from certain missions. But yeah, I think we're gonna just give her this at this point. I'm willing to spend Phoenix points, skill points, if Greta levels up and doesn't have the skill points. Because, yeah, getting more damage out there is nice, especially when already limited. We're going to pop Grenade back down, and we're going to give them... No, we need to research that, I think. Nurgle's Wrath, yeah. I think we'll set up the Nurgle's Wrath, Arthron, and Pandoran. Don't care about the body armor or the guns yet, and the colonies we can't do until we've actually destroyed one of the colonies. Gives us a nice little bonus of bits, and continues us towards the end game a little bit more. Yeah, Greta's looking quite hurt anyway, so let's go back to base. But yeah, we can now go and attack the Pandora nest, which I'm not sure if we'll do that just yet. But yeah, here we go. These are some nasty ones. So, new intelligence report, new Pandorans on the scene. We've got Arthron Gunners. There we go. So, they're basically the same as the very first Arthrons we came across, but they've now got a machine gun, which makes them far nastier to deal with. However, these ones are really lightly armoured. You can see they're skinny as a twig. So, other than trying to hit them, yeah, no issues. A little bit of armour on the head and torso. Anywhere else is easy to destroy. And if you take out their machine gun arm, their machine gun falls off, they can't use it. But they can return fire if you don't kill them off. And these agile legs actually let them jump up 1 story. And then we also have the Triton Wretch. Yeah, human-like hands. So these ones hold pistols. And these ones look a bit funny. This is a bunch of different capabilities. So I believe... Yeah, what have we got here? Silent Echo. All weapons attacks are silent. That's from its weird head. Pain Chameleon. So when we deal damage to it, it gets a free action where it goes invisible and runs a short distance. And they have spawn mist from their very strange fat arms. So in melee combat, these guys have no ability compared to the original Tritons, but they are much deadlier. Plus they carry these things. Pistols. They're basically the same as the Phoenix Point ones, which is fine, but yeah. And even though it shares a model with what some people will know as the Synedrian paralyzing pistol, thankfully it isn't actually that. And they only require one hand to use it, so we would need to disable both of their arms to stop them from shooting at us. So yeah, ultimately very annoying to deal with now. Thankfully not super heavily armored, but enough armor to cause issues. And finally, the Triton footpad. So they're very similar to the first ones. They've still got their pincer, blood-sucking arms, double vision and regeneration, and the ability to jump. But they now carry a gun. So they're just a straight upgrade from the first one. Otherwise, they're exactly the same as the first ones, but that gun makes them a little bit more annoying to deal with. Whew. Alrighty, so we've healed up, all rested. That Pandora nest will sit there forever. It will eventually upgrade itself, but that's not something we need to deal with immediately. But at the same time, looking at our personnel, how close are we to level up with you, Greta? I don't know that we can see. Oh well. Let's go into the recruits tab. So as well as recruiting from Havens, we can also recruit straight from Phoenix Point. The main difference is they come with nothing, but they also only cost food. So we get to see what their random abilities are first. Now the main benefit is being able to see these abilities first means we can have some idea of how we're going to build these people later on. So in this case, we've got Bombardier, Sniperist, and Farsighted. So it's not a good mesh. We're basically never going to pick this person up, especially because they're starting as an assault. So mounted weapons, not high on the agenda. It's a nice to have, but meh. Farsighted is really nice to have, especially in combination with Sniperist, because between the two you get more willpower, more perception range, the ability to use sniper rifles and deal damage. And yeah, that -4 is mitigated by the fact that they get a +2. So that's a nice combo, but the Bombardier is just so out of left field, it's not worth getting. Thomas, self-defense is okay, it's not great. Strongman, gain heavy weapons proficiency, but they lose a bunch of perception. That's another one that you kind of want to get with Farsighted, just to mitigate that negative. But the extra accuracy with heavy weapons is very nice. As well as getting cautious as well. So they've got a +40% accuracy bonus for a -10% damage. That's not bad at all. The extra strength is good. Being able to have a handgun means you can deal with the fact that they're not super good with heavy weapons otherwise. I think he might be worth picking up at this point, especially because we've got a good pile of food around. Yeah. And then finally we'll look at Juno. Not too bad. The biochemist inflicting viral damage. So viral damage slowly ticks down against willpower. It doesn't actually do any physical damage, but being able to lower someone's willpower is really good. You can end up putting enemies into panic loops and all sorts of things, and it helps a few of the helps a few abilities work better later on. Self-defense, we've seen that time and time again at this point. I don't know how many times we've seen it. And Reckless is a nice little one, and it meshes really well with the Cautious trait. Sometimes they'll both pop up, in which case you end up with a overall damage increase, or damage ends up equaling out, because this one's +10%, the other one's -10%, but the accuracy increases. This one's -10%, the other one's plus 20%. So if you can get reckless and cautious on the same person, it's a big investment for what ultimately ends up just being a 10% accuracy increase, but it's a free 10% accuracy, which is quite nice. Overall though, Juno not looking very useful to us, so we're going to leave her be. But what we will do is we're going to go back to base, and I think for one of these corner spots we will, let's build up here. We're going to put in a training facility. Now that we've got someone hanging around at base all the time, we're going to want someone to, we're going to, in 3 days, they'll start ticking up XP, so they don't get quite the level of SP because they're not going into missions, because we don't have the vehicle to carry them yet, but it means they'll have at least some abilities when it comes time to field them as an operative. Alright, let's see. Let's go to this one. We haven't explored here yet. Triton Autopsy. Nice. Combat Shield Technology. Tempting. Yeah, I think I'm going to put that on the end. It's not high priority, but it's a nice to have. Keep exploring. Recover Vehicle. This is nice. Having vehicles available is really useful, especially because later in the game having a vehicle to fly around and deal with some extra bits is quite nice. And if we want to field a second set of operatives early on, putting a vehicle with them gives them a nice boost until we've got the people and the equipment to deal with it. Let's see, put that there. Yeah. So you would have seen, actually, I'll just show you, the little equipment. That just means that we haven't filled all their ready slots. So it's always worth just filling them up with grenades and things if they've got the extra encumbrance, just because more tactical options leaves you to be more likely to actually get everyone through. So that's good. Otherwise, we're pretty much ready to go. We can only recover items carried by evacuating soldiers or vehicles. So good little reminder there. We're going to deploy squad, and let's hope that we can get a vehicle. Once we pick this vehicle up, we won't be able to carry it with us in our thing. It's either 2 or 4 slots. I think it's 2 people slots, so we would need to drop 2 people off at home and bring the vehicle along instead. Plus they don't level up, so they're not... If possible, it's best to leave them behind, but they can help in base defenses. They help in... If you've got a really big vehicle, you can load them in with a big squad, or with a medium-sized squad, plus a vehicle. Gives them another way to travel around the battlefield, provide some extra fire support, things like that. But they're very expensive to make, so missions like this are quite valuable, just to get basically free base defense and another way to interact with some of the map later on. Because going into that mid-late game, there is a lot more going on with the map. Alright, so we're down this end of the map. We can see there's the edge there. Chances are our vehicle is way up there, and then we'll need to run it all the way back down to our escape zone. Enemies will have a finite amount of enemies initially on the map. However, that will increase as the mission goes on, because enemies can come in on the sides of maps like this. So unlike the Haven Defense, they're a bit more annoying. Ooh, so we've already found one of these things. Mist Sentinel. So yeah, we'll come across these a bit more often. These guys make mist. The preparing thing is, as soon as they know we're here, they start pumping out mist, and that is very annoying. Thankfully we've been stopped before our first point is up. It's already preparing, so there's no risk in taking a shot at it, and we just want to start dealing damage. Yeah, now it knows we're here, but it was already preparing to splurt that girt with some mist and things anyway, so we might as well all just start lining up. So yeah, we'll start running people in, having them shoot through these windows and things and just hit this Mist Sentinel. Nice. A bit more damage there. Move Lyra over. Hit again. Get most of our shots through. Yep, perfect. And we've killed it off already. Bit of experience for Lyra, who's only level 2. Very nice. And we can just continue on with the mission as if nothing was ever happening. Alrighty. That way, and you, with your jetpack, are going to start moving faster. We're going to jetpack you straight up there, because it gives us a nice high position to look from, gives us those will points back. Yeah, because we'll probably end up flying our heavy all the way to the end using a combination of jetpack and running. Suck all those will points up and, yeah, see what happens from there. Yeah, we're just going to run Arya straight up as far as we can. There's not a huge amount of danger in these missions for the first turn or two usually. Cool. Alright. I thought I was about to be proven a bit wrong there, but thankfully not. I still like to take it cautiously. There's no time limit on these missions, so there's no point in providing horrifically unnecessary risk to your soldiers. And setting them up with Overwatch is just free damage. When the enemy comes into the fight, they're wasting their time setting themselves up and trying to find you and all that. Alrighty. But I also don't want to take too long, so usually I'll set up sort of a little over half the soldiers and I'll just run the rest up. Plus, I don't mind spreading us out a little bit across sort of this section of the map, because once we get that vehicle, it'll run straight back and it'll probably come down this side quite nicely. So we'll probably end up just trying to clear out bits around the place. Alrighty. So we're going to run her up here, remembering that this isn't where she finishes her run. And then we're going to dash over to here. We'll leave that as is. She doesn't have a full will point left. This one's the only one left to go. We're going to fly over to here. Hopefully we'll reveal some enemies and things so that we know where people are. But it doesn't. That's okay. In that case we'll duck out to here. Yeah, still don't see anything. Leaves it nice and open. We'll be able to fly forward. Because the jetpack is obstructed by certain pieces of wall and things. Oh, it's an Arthron gunner. He's going to probably shoot up at us. No, he must have run out of action points. Perfect. Okay, so we know where they are. Triton Strangler, so he's still one of the basic ones. Useless. Nice. Alright, and this is them moving stuff in the background. Yeah, because of course they all know we're here because we were shooting at one of their other things earlier. So they're like, oh yes, everything's in that direction. Okay, so now we are going to stop with the running. I'm going to aim. Missed. Yeah. So, Arthron gunners, a bit like tissue paper. If we can actually hit them, we do huge amounts of damage. We can take them out, if we're lucky, in a single burst most of the time. Yeah. I'm going to stop you. Yeah, just going to keep trucking along basically. Oh, nice. We can already start getting pot shots off on that Triton. I don't like them. We got bugger all. Okay, I'll leave that. Yeah, so what we can do is we can move a little bit. Move. Yeah, just move a little bit. Shoot at them, and then we can move back into a different piece of cover. Yeah, we're going to move over to here. Nice. So we've taken out the two major gunners, which is great. Arthron's shield bearer, so he's not really much of a threat, to be honest. Doesn't take much to take his arm off and then he's done. This guy's going to run over, going to attack us. This is fine, because next turn we're just going to bash him, keep going. Alrighty. Taking its time, because it's doing all its calculations. Ah, this enemy's disappeared from our line of sight. Of course. So we don't know where it is. It's probably moving around here somewhere, being stealthy. I don't know. If we see mist suddenly appear, we know it's just been sitting there going, oh, no, it was just taking its time calculating. Ouch. Little annoying, but, you know, and it's outside of perception range, so we didn't get to shoot back at it. But that's okay. Yeah, and it is a pistol. It gets to shoot multiple times. Just 1 AP per shot. Ooh, that's nasty. Thankfully it missed with 2 out of the 3, so that's good. There we go. So we move our sniper. He gets to take a shot. It's not a good one. Yeah, it didn't hit anything. That's okay. This one, we're just gonna bash it once. I believe it's Bloodsucker Arms action points 2. Yeah, so this is really good. If you know that you've done certain things, like Dazed, we know that it lowers their action points to 1, so he can't use his Bloodsucker Arm. He doesn't have a pistol or anything. He's now worthless. If we wanted, we could War Cry or something as well. Otherwise, we could just shoot it dead. This has plenty of stuff. Otherwise, if I wanted to, I could just keep flying out. Which I think is exactly what I'm going to do. Because I know that he's not really much of a threat anymore. I've busted his regen. Yeah, so we can just basically ignore him. This person... Yeah, we're going to run Greta out here. And we're going to take a pot shot. Yeah. Cool. We hit one of the missed arms. And that's that Panic Chameleon thing coming into play. Stand by there. Who's up next? Lara. That's fine. Because they're Pain Chameleon, we don't know exactly where they are anymore, but that's okay. I'm fairly willing to make some maneuvers. Perfect. So we've shot his arm off. That's all of his damage gone. He's only got a shield left. He's no longer a threat. So we can just... in fact, we're going to pop back up here. This guy's probably going to run off the edge of the stage, which is unfortunate. We lose some XP, but we know that we're safe. And honestly, going through, safety is paramount. It's the most important factor of pretty much everything. And we're going to move you up to here. We're going to hope this enemy reappears. We won't see that enemy again. They'll stop being invisible on their turn until they've run back into our line of sight. I'm going to move you up there. Apparently you get shot. Ah, nice. There's a hole in the floor. Perfect. Now that he's dead, he's out the way, we don't even need to worry about him slowly bleeding out. Plus Shannon gets a bit of extra XP. Beautiful. Alright. Yeah, Pandoran activity often takes a little while. And while it's doing that, I might just quickly go refill my water. Alrighty, we're back. So, what happened? Not a lot. We've seen where that is. We've seen him run off. Yeah, oh, he's run off that way. Nice. Alrighty. In that case, yeah, where's our sniper at? Here he is. He could do some damage to the Triton. Yeah, that's probably the slightly better angle from which to do something. Lastly, we're going to run you... Ooh, another enemy. Ah, it's a basic Arthron. They can't do much. Gonna move you there. Cool, we've disabled the torso, in which case we can pop back to him. Take aim with our sniper. Boop. Nice. Move you over to here. Take aim. And shred the paper Arthron. I only hit it like once, but that's fine. Gonna move you to there. And take aim down this way. Move you to there. Ooh, what have you seen? No, you're fine. Sometimes it's a wee bit glitchy. Nice! Taking care of the paper Arthron. What do we got here? Ooh, it's a Phoenix Point Scarab. So we've got our missile turret there. Machine entity, so no willpower. Immune to biological effects. Immune to fire, virus, poison, daze, and psychic abilities. Good. I want my truck to not be affected by psychic abilities. Let's see. This is probably the fastest way. Get onto the roof and we can drop down through one of the holes. Alrighty. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Turn you around. I'm only going to move it to here for now. We're going to leave that. We know this guy's here, but he's not a threat. Stand by. Stand by. Out of actions. Leave it. He's going to run off the map. No, he's just going to keep running up this way. That's fine. We can shoot him. Shoot him later, that is. Or try and shoot him now. Nah. Our sniper is terrible. That's fine. Actually, we're just going to pop up here. We're just going to move you inside. Into this vehicle. Boom. I'm so sad that you can't just run over an Arthron, but that would be great. But let's just get moving. Yeah, they're so fast. Okay, let's not do that because you're probably just going to hit the Scarab. You, however, can take shots. At worst, you're going to kill it off. Well, at worst, you don't kill it off and it dies later. At best, that happens. Alright. Because we need everyone to evacuate afterwards, and that Scarab is really fast, we're just going to start running everyone back. Oh, an extra Arthron. Free XP, you say? Ah, well that's a bit disappointing. Move you back a little bit. Lara, you're just going to hang around back here. You only need to hit it once. Nice. Free XP. And we're going to start running Shannon back. Greta, you too. I don't care about you at the moment. You're inside. You're going to run back. No, we care about the Phoenix Point Scarab. He's going to go zoom. Move you back. Yeah, and let's just start moving people out. By evacuating them, we get them off the field. It stops them from being in the way of anything else. And it means we don't need to go through their turn in the turn order every time. Get Greta out. can't quite get out. The other thing is, you can watch. Boom, boom, boom. Takes care of cover like nobody's business. So if you've got something hiding in cover, you just get it there and you're good to go. You just run over all the cover. Nobody cares. Pandoran has arrived. He's here. He's a threat, but he's not. Yeah, no. You're just gonna leave, David. You're not that good. You can't seem to do anything about it unless you move to there. You can't kill it. There's no point in wasting ammo on it. We're just gonna get them out. I can't be bothered. I'm sure I could very easily sit here and farm them until we've got tons, but if we evacuate everyone out, we save on stuff. And XP isn't really worth farming that much. Yeah, Greta is nearly at that all-important level 4. Got a little bit more XP for some other ones, but overall, not a lot happening. Got some minor injuries out of that. It's unfortunate, but we have got a Scarab, which is nice. So the main thing transports do is you can pop a couple people inside them. They move around the map really quick, as you saw there, and they do come equipped with a weapon. It's quite a nice weapon there. Does a lot of damage, a lot of AoE, but is also quite expensive to keep fueling. Each of the ammo things, it takes quite a fair bit to manufacture. The other important thing we got, so we got to send it somewhere, so we send it back to Phoenix Point, and it just teleports there, which is nice. Alright, Mist Sentinels, we just do more damage to them, which is nice. They're big, beefy things for no particular reason, and they're a bit annoying to deal with. So we'll put it down low. We've got some minor damage again, so we'll just pop back to base for a little bit. I think we'll need to start considering this. There we go, New Jericho.
New Jericho was one man's vision, and everything depended on that one man. Before the war, Tobias West had been a billionaire, an elusive, controversial businessman who denounced war even as he profited from it. When the world fell, his empire began to rise. Some said he was a genius, a man of principle, dedicated to equality and merit, fighting to preserve the core of human freedom, our will. They said he had a plan, that he could lead us to victory. Others called him a dictator, a megalomaniac, fearful of infection and obsessed with purity. They said he was willing to do anything to win, no matter the cost. The Phoenix Project needed allies. New Jericho could help us turn the tide, but it all depended on one man.
You can't tell me that's basically just Elon Musk. Can you imagine if he was in this sort of scenario? I'm sure he's fine. We could just keep bouncing around, actually. We've got 6.5 days. Alright, I'm going to leave it there for now, I think. We've explored most of these areas. We could pop out to some of these. As you can see, you've got this limited range, so I can't quite get here, but if I stopped along the way at this middle point, then it keeps going across. Otherwise, yeah. And you can go quite far out that way. We could unlock a new Phoenix Point base. We can't even get to this one, but we could unlock it. But yeah, we just need to keep looking. It's way down in Australia. There's probably some stuff here in New Zealand. It's a bit weird that it's got this spot and this. That's not how New Zealand is, but okay. Yeah. You know, overall, it's quite nice. It's a good map. The fact that it has New Zealand on it's always nice. Ah, yes, and the South Pole. Phoenix. Base info. Yeah. yes, we can change the names. So, on the off chance anyone watches right to the end here, any followers and things I get, I'm going to put into the game. They can choose whether they become a base, of vehicle, or whatever, and we'll happily rename things. Rename my PX Scarab to something else, and we'll keep going. Yeah, and we'll just keep trucking on. So, thank you for sitting around, watching, putting up with me going through what's basically my first stream ever. And yeah, it's been good fun. So, thank you very much, and I will see you all in the future.